Hey man, stay safe world. You already know what's going on, man. We gotta talk about Ralo, Goon, you know, Mr. Dogfood himself, who apparently is getting accused of snitching by a co-defendant in his case that's ongoing right now, man. It's a crazy situation that's been ongoing for like 5 years now, starting from when he got arrested for apparently smuggling hundreds of pounds of weed in a private jet in Atlanta, and it's now ending up with him being accused of snitching and actually going out trying to clear his name, man. Let's get into it right now, but before we do, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run to this video, man. Make sure y'all check out the merch link in the description at staysafeworld.com. You already know.
At the center of a federal raid was a gang leader tied to 1,000 pounds in pot seizures. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie is live outside the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta. Mark, the suspect has been on authorities' radar.
And I just reached defense attorney Ash Joshi, who confirmed he represents Terrell Davis, better known as the hip-hop artist Ralo. He says Ralo will plead not guilty to federal charges. He just saw it today for the first time. We saw them today also. We're told the verified Instagram account Ralo Famgoon belongs to Ralo the rapper, and a February 24th post says, quote, "I'm flagged at every airport," unquote. Now we may have insight about why. And another post says, "Attention police officers, I will never in my life ride with any drugs." Now a federal document raises questions about whether he flew with drugs, lots of them. And it may help answer questions about why the law swarmed over an apartment complex in southwest Atlanta Wednesday. It contains federal charges, 2 counts of a conspiracy to distribute marijuana against Terrell, Ralo Davis, and others.
It's an ongoing investigation, so I can't comment beyond what's on the complaint. We have several individuals who are arrested basically on state charges, but as you know, that there's a federal complaint filed. So we'll be seeking additional evidence.
An affidavit from an ATF agent alleges Ralo is the leader of a criminal street gang called Famerica and a hip-hop artist. It describes Davis's charter flight to Fulton County Airport, December 22nd, a traffic stop near the airport by the Georgia State Patrol, and the discovery of approximately 520 pounds of marijuana with an estimated street value of about $1 million. It indicates the day before on Instagram, videos were posted of Davis getting onto a private jet, surrounded by people wearing clothing similar to clothing recovered in the van with the marijuana. The document also describes April 15th at PDK Airport, suggesting Ralo was on an aircraft, and about 444 pounds of weed with an estimated street value of approximately $840,000 is mentioned.
Within the allotted time, if there's sufficient evidence, we'll be seeking a grand jury indictment.
Now, we want to underscore that one should not assume that everybody in the video we showed is accused of wrongdoing. Indeed, we believe that is not the case. Now, in another Instagram post, February 25th, it said, quote, "I don't want no illegal guns, drugs, or criminal activity near me," unquote. Then, here's what this said.
Man, imagine being in jail for 5 years and then all of a sudden there's allegations against you apparently snitching on all sorts of different people. Well, this is apparently happening with Ralo right now, with one of his artists basically releasing a phone call that he had with Ralo, basically stating that Ralo didn't keep it solid in his 5 years.
It's in black and white, bro. I'm reading your lawyer pleading on your behalf, trying to get this record sealed because of this information that you gave. It's you saying that you never said that you didn't do it, but you had me believing for 5 years that you kept it solid, dog. And in the paperwork, it say that in 2 months, y'all got locked up in April. In June 6th, you gave a proffer and you gave up information. You gave them folk the code to your phone and let them review it in your presence. That's what the paperwork say.
I ain't opposed to that shit. Belong to him. The documents that you see is from a prosecution misconduct hearing. Okay,
but so if you saying that you gave them just the phone information because you knew nothing was in the phone, what about this shit on page 12, line 12 and 13, where it say he is cooperating against heroin, methamphetamine, he knows about shootings, and the marijuana, where it say he is cooperating against heroin, methamphetamine.
I'm not opposition to that. Listen, when you go in there, they ask you other questions. I made my presentation. They started asking other questions.
You know the code though. That's what I'm saying. You know the code. You ain't supposed to have no meeting with them folks in the first place.
Queen, I was presented a situation that only reason why you know about this is because of the prosecution misconduct hearing. All these rap niggas pay that money to get out of jail.
But we ain't these rap niggas though.
Listen, please consider this. I got caught with this shit on the plane. Say, what the fuck you thought I was gonna do?
Take your lick. Like shit, it's just a week. Well, okay. Look, listen. Remember when before you got locked up, I used to always tell you, "Hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. Hey,
I agree with you.
Let's say.
Okay, I'm not opposition to that. Listen, when you go in there, they ask you other questions. I made my presentation. They started asking.
And this is all coming from some type of paperwork that basically says that Ralo gave a proffer, which is basically gave some type of information in return for some type of lower sentence, which everyone kind of thought from the jump, because he only got a certain amount of years, like pretty low for like smuggling thousands of pounds basically across state lines on some crazy shit, man. But it is kind of crazy to even think about the fact that he could even be a snitch. But it all sort of came from this paperwork that leaked online that basically said that he gave some type of testimony and information in return for some type of lighter sentence. And in giving that information, he didn't just give his information on his pounds, but he gave his information on heroin deals and a bunch of other things that happened in the Atlanta area that his lawyer was working to try to get sealed. And that's apparently the conversation that they had. And Ralo has released an Instagram statement basically saying that what everyone is saying is false, and it's like the prosecution may be trying to make him look bad in the streets and stuff like that. And throughout the phone call, I guess they were kind of stressed that like he only got arrested for weed, which I mean back at that time in 2018 was a big deal, but now like it would probably even be a lighter sentence to be arrested with that much weed. It's really just probably the traveling across state lines with that amount of weed, you know, that is like the major issue. But he didn't get caught for, you know, what apparently made him famous, the dog food. So the fact that information is coming out saying that he had something to do with it, definitely not a good thing, you know, especially for him. And if that's really the case, you know, obviously some type of people, like street people, are gonna feel some type of way that he's given any type of information, which is definitely what they gave the idea in the phone call. Like the dude was pressing him saying you shouldn't be even having any type of meeting or anything like that, and Ralo didn't have any type of response for it. And honestly, that is kind of crazy, because you know, I really feel like a majority of these artists that get caught in these situations in general never really have any type of, like, unless it's sealed, like I feel like a lot of these artists never really have any type of street instincts to really just, you know, go and just take their time. Like everyone, it's natural to want to get out of these type of situations. I mean, you've seen what happened in the Fulton County jail. Someone died from getting eaten alive by bed bugs, man. So obviously these dudes are not going to want to stay inside there, even if it is just weed charges and stuff like that. But the fact that the police arrested him right after their whole plane situation kind of just shows that they were under surveillance, man. So let's get into it from the top. What exactly went down from the beginning that even resulted in this case and him apparently getting caught for snitching in the first place? And to really do that, we got to go all the way back to 2018. On a bright and sunny day in 2018, Ralo basically landed his private jet in a special airport in Atlanta, Georgia, after previously releasing a video with all his homies and his whole label basically shooting a video next to the private jet and stuff. And on their way leaving the jet, they got caught with thousands of pounds of marijuana that estimated a street value of around $1 million. And the police basically, on some sting operation shit, raided another apartment that apparently he owned, and it eventually got him arrested and in the situation that he is in today. So fast forward 5 years later, I talk about the whole phone call that his artist had and recorded and basically released, saying that he sort of gave some type of information, and Ralo was saying that that's totally not even true. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't think anyone that even gives that type of information is ever going to say that that shit is true at all. No one's ever going to say like, hey man, like I went out and gave information to the police, obviously. But you know, a lawyer's probably trying to work in your best interest, and they're not going to think about everyone else's best interest. So they're probably going to advise you to do certain things like that to try to get lighter sentences. I mean, he got caught with mad stuff and only got a light sentence, basically. You know, it's pretty crazy. And on top of everything, like, people really feel like these dudes are gonna keep it solid, but a lot of this stuff is just music, man. And you got to think of it in a business point of view. Like, you're gonna make more money being outside than you are inside, so obviously these dudes want to be outside, so they're gonna do whatever it takes, and they don't really care about a code or the streets or anything like that, man. You could look at Gunna. It's like a constant thing in rap music for that to happen, and that's not saying that this is 100% true, that he 100% told and gave information, because I mean, yeah, there's paperwork in black and white that says that, but we don't really know the full extent of it. But you know, it's just human nature to not want to be caged up, especially when it's something like weed. Like, I feel like that might even make it worse, because he feels like he should be out because weed is legal and stuff. He probably feels like, man, this isn't even that bad, like I'm trying to get out no matter what. But you know, at the end of the day, we got to see what's up, and maybe more information will come out, and maybe we'll see if any more people get arrested based off of what he says. You already know what's going on, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Real say shit. You already know what's going on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.